So as long as you're properly trained in sales and you have a pretty good structure on how you're buying these properties or how you're essentially putting the deal together, as long as you know how to market and sell anything, as long as the numbers make sense, you can effectively do it. So your focus is more on the marketing and sales aspect rather than, the I guess the real estate investor type of approach. Would that be fair to say?
I mean, if you're talking about real estate investing, is completely different than wholesaling, right? If your goal is to just scale your wholesale business, you need to just focus on two things. How do I get more leads, and how do I get a return on my marketing budget? That's it. That's literally what it is. And a lot of people overcomplicate it into like 20 different sales processes, 20 different methods. Like, bro, focus on one marketing channel, define your sales process, and just see what your return on investment is on that marketing dollar.
I love it. I think that makes so much sense. And then when we talk about the due diligence aspect, let's say you finally get something under contract, you're doing everything virtually. How are you scheduling all the things that you need? Are you having the seller take pictures of the property? How does that work?
So I hire a company called HomeJab. They're like 150 to 250 bucks. They'll take phenomenal MLS style photos for you. And
Gotcha.
then I tell the seller, be like, hey, Mrs. Seller, this is kind of going to be a couple next steps that we're going to handle for you. Number one, like I promised, we're going to get a professional photographer out there. They're not an investor. They're literally a guy that's going to make your property look phenomenal, right? Just let us, when's the best time for us to schedule? Do you prefer tomorrow or Wednesday? Wednesday or Thursday? Perfect. Morning, evening. 1 p.m. fine? Great. Schedule right there. Um, I'll tell them it's not occupied. Okay, perfect. Is it okay if we put a lockbox out there for you? So this way we don't have to bother you every single time. But if they're currently still occupying it, be like, okay, perfect. What's typically the best schedule? So this way, when we send out some contractors to get pricing quotes after we get the initial photos back, when's the best time for us to get access to the property? And would there be any reason that they won't get access? I want to make sure that I want to protect your time. And like I said, we're going to do all the work for you, but we want to make sure that we respect your time as well.
I love it. And then what about does HomeJab also have some type of connection with home inspections or any kind of
No.
you just kind of going based
Yeah.
on Google, hey, I got a
Mhm.
deal in Tampa, Florida. I'm gonna look up inspectors in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah. So for example, like results driven, they do like a non-formal inspection report, which we've done in the past as well. Those work fine. You just have to make a couple phone calls. I recommend just like having like I don't know if you're doing the acquisition and Michael is doing like Dispo, but have like the Dispo or the TC handle like the trying to find. So my number one goal too is like I'll call all the inspectors in the area and try to see if I can beat Home Jack's price with a non-formal inspection.
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a 4 point. Like I just want to make sure like okay, just go in there, just check all the water heaters, like the roof age, if there are any major issues, electrical or anything, and then you don't have to go into the walls, like foundation, like the main things, right? And then take some pictures for me, and that's it.
Great.
Yeah, but obviously, if you can't find somebody, then I'll just go with home job. Takes time.
Makes sense. So I kind of want to change gears a little bit and ask you if you were giving advice to somebody who's just getting started in real estate or maybe just getting started in their real estate investment journey, whatever that looks like, what does that advice look like?
Wholesale or investment?
Both. I want to get your take on both.
Yeah. For wholesale, don't overcomplicate it. It's literally marketing and sales. Once you have those two dialed in, you're good. Like you'll make money. Like you can infinitely scale your business until you don't have the balls to spend more. That's
Mm.
literally what it is. You know. And then for investment, dude, like network, networking, understanding, like these are things that like I'm still in the journey of doing myself. I think just knowing people, having the right people on your team learning what raising capital is, being able to underwrite at a high level, build relationships. That's probably going to be the most important thing for real estate investing. Yeah, you don't need to be a wholesaler to invest. And
Yeah,
most people when they say I'm gonna cherry pick my deals, bro, motherfucker, if you want to make wholesaling work, it's gonna be tough to cherry pick a deal because you're gonna be scattered, you're gonna be nationwide. Like when do you like once in a while you might get something in your market that you might want to take down yourself. I have never gotten a contract in Tampa.
really.
Never, dude.
Why?
St. Pete and
Just
Tampa,
didn't work out.
no, it's just like it just didn't work out. Competition is really fierce. Like it just happened, dude. It is what
Yeah.
it is.
It's funny you say that because I was I'm working with this agent and I had a few deals under contract with them, and for whatever reason it always felt like they wanted a really short inspection period, which was fine. I had no problem with that.
Mhm.
But then, during the point where we're under contract, they'd always come and say, "Hey, we have an offer that's 20, 30,000 above yours, so we're not willing to retrade, we're not willing to do anything." And then sometimes you call their bluff, and then they're like, "Oh, well, actually, I have this offer 50,000 over what you guys offered us." And then you come to find out it's one of these industry leaders, and you see the actual same deal on their podcast, and they're breaking it down live for everybody. Um, so I completely feel you, man. Tampa is a very, very competitive market and one that is not for the faint of heart.
It's
But
not, dude. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things where you really have to find your market. And for you, it seems like that's nationwide. Like you're willing to do anything anywhere because you can sell it when it comes to the wholesaling side of things.
Yeah.
Um,
It's if it's a marketing and sales game, just the numbers make sense. Like you're getting the same qualified lead, but you're getting it cheaper, so you have more swings at the bat. You have more opportunities to close something. You have the more opportunity to dispose something. And if I'm decreasing my ad cost, my marketing cost by 3x, so I have 3x the amount of opportunities that you have
mm,
that you're
You
only.
just started your real estate business, and now you're like, I'm trying to call these sellers, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do here. I don't know how to comp this thing. I don't know how to even call the seller and find their number. Use Privy. Privy will get you all that information. You can find buyers, you can find sellers, you can get on market deals, off market deals. I mean, I, I don't know how you're not using it. Link's right here. Go use it. We use it every day.
So right now, for you guys are primarily doing DTA, right? Direct to
correct.
agent.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you looking to just scale DTA specifically?
No, we're definitely looking to get into inbound as well. I'd like to go more direct to seller. But I had a conversation with Jamil, and he was like, "You got to focus on one thing,
Yeah.
because your attention's divided right now. If
Hmm.
you could just put 100% into one thing." So no, I mean we're not stuck on DTA, but it's the thing that's making the most sense at the
So
moment.
why don't you focus on scaling? What's stopping yourself right now from scaling DTA without hiring currently?
I would say probably my number one, I guess, reservation towards it is just the time that it takes. It's very time consuming. It's a game
Hmm.
of relationships, it's a game of inches, and it's made it a lot more difficult now that you have to sign paperwork before even going to look and walk a property with an agent. That's kind of like our biggest hindrance at the moment. Um, so I'm not apprehensive against it. It's just I'm a new dad and I'm trying to make sure I spend time with my child. And that's really hard to do when you're making phone calls for, the entire day. No excuses, just being realistic.
Yeah.
That's just not my number one priority. So I use my time effectively when the time that I do have,
Hmm.
but I just don't have a ton of it.
Got you. And are you guys at the point right now to hire but pay for better acquisition people, not from where is your pool of like talent coming from right now?
So honestly, it was just personal connections, like hiring a lot of guys that I served with in the military. They
Mhm.
were looking for like a side gig kind of thing, maybe a side hustle, and that's pretty much it. And then we kind of realized that that wasn't going anywhere, so we transitioned to hiring people in the community. And so we picked up some people that we met at Squad Up Summit in Orlando last year, earlier this year rather, and that paid dividends. I mean, I think that we picked up a lot of really good people, and ultimately they get good to a point where they're wholesaling pretty well, and they go
Mhm.
build out their own operation. Um, so
Mm.
yeah.
So when you pitch to the people that you're looking to hire from like the military background, do you pitch it as a side gig?
No,
Okay.
but I'm also I understand their situation because I know them. So I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, listen, we're looking for somebody who's gonna take on acquisitions, right? You're gonna go direct to seller, you're gonna cold call, whatever it looks like.
Okay.
And we just explain to them the rules and responsibilities, and then we give them our expectations. Hey, I'd like you to meet these KPIs. I'd like you to make this amount of calls, have this amount of conversations, and you know, I set it for a full-time employee to see if they can do it while also at their W-2. And so far, one person out of the almost 20 that we've taken on in that role have made it.
Right, which is fair because if you think about it, if you haven't even tried 100 people, there's not enough, there's not even a sample size big enough to say, hey, I have a percentage of this.
Hmm.
If you look at it in that like lens, right? I always see it as like until like I interview 100 people, I am not allowed to choose one.
Interesting. So what does it look like for you? Like, how would you recommend
I
kind
I
of
do a lot of
finding?
overseas people, like I just find the
Okay.
best talent from overseas. I'll interview like 100 people until like I'm like, okay, cool. Like here's the 5 people that I think it's talented enough to do what I need them to do. Here's a task. Can you follow baseline instructions? Because I know my personality, I give very vague instructions and I just
Hmm.
expect you to do. But if you can utilize my vague instructions and get a decent result without me telling you much, that means that is a good fit and you can work towards becoming better.
So you're looking for self-starters. Somebody
Y-
doesn't need to be micromanaged, handheld. They just do the thing.
Yeah, because I suck at managing people.
If you think it could be serious,
Gotcha.
ask me to call him.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
then, yeah, dude, I mean, right now, you did mention direct to seller again. I thought you're scaling direct to agent with these people.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about in the beginning when we brought
Okay.
these people on because we had a really high turnover rate in the beginning when we were
Hmm.
going direct to seller.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, direct to agent. I literally have one person, other than my partner and I, that is on acquisition. So they're going direct to agent for everything,
Okay.
and they're having a lot of really good success. His name's Timmy. We picked him up at Squad Up Summit, made
Okay.
really good connection with him, and he's awesome. And so we're just looking to kind of build on that. And so, yeah, to your point, I think paying somebody and incentivizing them correctly is the best way
Hmm.
to get them to perform. We made the mistake in the past of only doing commission based, and
Hmm.
I think Pace Morby said it best. It was like, show me how you incentivize somebody, and I'll show you how they show up. And
Yeah.
when it's just commission based only, if somebody doesn't have the drive or the motivation to do it, they're just not going to do it.
I like to pay something on the front end because of the fact that I don't want an entrepreneur to be in that role because I need a soldier, right? I need baseline. I want somebody that has responsibilities that isn't trying to build their own team, that's an entrepreneur within my organization. I'm gonna give them the creative freedom to do whatever they want, but they have to perform. But you get a baseline salary, typically like 2,000 a month base, on a 3 month probation, and then yeah.
That makes sense. And So I know you said you're getting them from overseas. You're obviously doing that online. Are you going to like Fiverr? What does that look like?
Uh, Dude, like honestly, I will probably bring somebody in-house. If you're gonna pay them 2 grand a month, you should probably bring somebody local to you. Like I don't like to hire from too far. Like for example, like I can get very high level people to convert my leads because I generate the leads. So like there's inherent value to why they want to work with me. And like all they're doing is taking down inbound leads. So I can get like very high level acquisitions, people to want to work with me on day one off a percentage.
Mm.
But if I were to hire somebody internal and build out a team, I will get an office. I will have them show up every fucking day and I will slap them with a fucking sandal if I need to, if they're not performing.
Hit it with the chancla. I love it.
Exactly. It's like, bro, it's like the culture needs to be there when it comes to sales. And this virtual sales shit doesn't work, especially when you're trying to grow a team.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good
Like,
point, Will.
yeah, like you need to be in there 8 hours, 10 hours a day. I expect you to fucking come to work and crush. And I'm gonna give you all the resources to do so, but you need to be there. Like if you think this is a virtual sales shit, like no, it's not.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I tell people a lot of words, be like, yeah, dude, like I'm gonna expect you to call on weekends because that's what fucking winners do. Like, do you hate money? No? Okay. Like I'll make the position sound so daunting that it will push majority of people away.
They kind of filter themselves out, so you only get the people that are
Exactly.
motivated.
Yeah. It's like if your goal is to make a shit ton of money and have a great lifestyle while doing it, yeah, this is where you're gonna grow, but you're gonna have to be a savage. But if you're not a savage and this is scaring you, by all means, just you don't have to take this job.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like I expect you to be here on time every fucking day, and I expect you to make X amount of dollars per day. I need you to hit certain KPIs every freaking day. And if you are uncomfortable with that standard, this is not going to be a good fit for us. It's not going to be a good fit for you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Will, upcoming projects, what do you got in the works? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about?
Dude, I'm just trying to focus on the agency side of things, growing that as much as possible. Build a monthly reoccurring. I think the next step for me is to bring on a full-time salesperson for my company and then start running like paid ads again myself. So I'm gonna be hiring a sales coach for my team that perfects our offer. Obviously, the social media branding side, like I've been getting so much like opportunity just off like organic recently, which is kind of like freaking amazing from like just the amount of time that I put into it, which is not a lot. So I need to put out more like informational products, reels, blah blah blah. That's gonna be the main focus. And the next step after that is to bring on a sales coach to craft the offer. And then I'm gonna bring on a sales guy that I've been working with for a long time. He's a solid dude, and I'm gonna pay him a good fucking chunk of money to work with me. And then yeah, besides that, just scaling the agency side. And then the real estate side, like it'll come, dude. Like I'm not even worried about the investment side of things because I know that as long as I live in this space, like the investment opportunities will come.
I
Yeah.
love it. I wish you nothing but the best, my friend.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we connected, and you're always down to help. You're always down to figure out what makes sense and always lend a helping hand. So, Will,
I
I
got you, brother.
appreciate you. And yeah, I also wanted to ask you, what does it look like for your end game? Like, if you could wave a magic wand, anything in your life could be true. What does your life look like?
Dude, I think end game is just a family and the freedom to do whatever I want. I think that it's not. I think I am. A lot of us, like, we take a lot of things for granted, and we're blessed to be in the position that we are in. And I'm not worried too much. Like, my lady always said, "Yo, dude, you stop looking like enjoy the moment, right?" And I think end game is to be able to enjoy the moment. Yeah.
I love that. I completely agree, man. That's exactly what my end game looks like. I want to be able to just spend time with my family. And if my daughter says, "Hey dad, I want to go ride horses this whole weekend. Let's
Hmm.
go ride some horses." That's
All
that's what
weekend.
it's all about. That's why we work hard. That's why we sacrifice. That's why we do the things that we do so we can enjoy it on the back end.
Yeah, dude.
Will, I appreciate you. Always a pleasure.